Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in.
Today we will be covering Google beefing up Gemini's agent infrastructure, Meta launching its first image model from superintelligence labs across Instagram and WhatsApp, Alberta's provincial government using Claude code to audit hundreds of millions of lines of code, and a new safety index claiming frontier labs are quietly backing away from earlier commitments. Starting with Google. On July 7th, Google DeepMind rolled out a significant upgrade to managed agents in the Gemini API, and the theme here is production readiness. The headline additions are long-running background execution, direct remote MCP server support, custom function calling that works alongside built-in sandbox tools, and credential refresh across interactions. In plain terms, developers can now hand Gemini a task, close the connection, and come back later to check on it using an interaction ID. That is a real shift from the old pattern where you had to keep a chat session open and hope nothing timed out. The remote MCP piece is arguably the bigger deal for enterprises. MCP, or Model Context Protocol, is basically a standardized way for AI agents to talk to external tools and data sources. By supporting remote MCP servers directly, Google is letting companies plug Gemini into their internal APIs, databases, and systems without building custom middleware to bridge the gap. Google framed the update simply, saying these changes directly address developer feedback and product needs. It is not a flashy new model, but it is the kind of plumbing that determines whether agents actually make it into real apps or stay stuck in demos. Moving to Meta, which also picked July 7th to launch Muse Image, the first image generation model out of Meta Superintelligence Labs. It is landing inside Meta AI, Instagram Stories, WhatsApp chats in select countries, and Meta's Advantage Plus creative tools for advertisers. The feature set is aggressive. You can blend multiple photos, use presets, sketch edits directly onto an image, and even @mention public Instagram profiles to pull their content into your creations. It also powers more than 30 new AI effects for stories. The real story is distribution. Meta is not asking anyone to download a separate AI app. It is dropping generative imagery directly into products that already have billions of daily users, plus its ad platform, where Meta says more than 8 million advertisers are already using at least one of its generative creative tools. Crystal Duncan from the agency Tenuity offered a grounded take on the ad-side version, calling it a point of starting more intelligently, not a replacement for the creative process. That framing matters because it signals advertisers are treating Muse Image as a productivity boost for creative teams, rather than a way to cut them out. Muse Image also pairs with a companion tool called Muse Spark, which handles layout planning and pulls in real-time web context and visual references. Next, a striking case study from Anthropic published July 6th. Alberta's Ministry of Technology and Innovation used Claude code, powered by Claude Opus and Sonnet, to scan 466 million lines of government code in roughly 20 hours. Around 50 agents worked in parallel across the province's systems, flagging vulnerabilities, infrastructure weaknesses, and documentation gaps. The scope covered 27 provincial ministries, and per Digital Watch, roughly 1,280 applications and 3,400 repositories, supporting services from social programs to wildfire response. The process was two-stage. A traditional rules engine flagged known patterns first. Then, Claude reviewed those flags and cited exact files and line numbers so human developers could verify. Alberta estimated a comparable traditional review would have taken about 6.5 years. That is the kind of number that will get attention in government IT departments everywhere. What is worth emphasizing is that this is not a demo or a pilot write-up. It is one of the largest publicly disclosed government deployments of coding agents for cybersecurity work, and human verification stayed central to the workflow rather than being replaced by it. For anyone skeptical about whether agents can do real, high-stakes work at scale, Alberta just gave a very concrete answer. Finishing with a counterweight story, the Future of Life Institute released its Summer 2026 AI Safety Index, and the top-line finding is unflattering. No major AI company scored above a C+, Anthropic ranked first with that C+, while OpenAI and Google DeepMind landed at straight C grades. According to Axios, reviewers concluded that Anthropic, OpenAI, Google DeepMind, and Meta have all weakened or eliminated earlier commitments to pause development if their systems crossed specified danger thresholds. That last part is the real news. Several of these labs had previously made voluntary pledges about halting or slowing work if certain capability or risk thresholds were hit. And the index is essentially saying those guardrails have been quietly loosened or dropped entirely. Just as agent capabilities and multimodal deployments are ramping up, the report lands at an awkward moment, given everything else happening this week, from Alberta running 50 agents across critical government infrastructure to Meta pushing generative imagery to billions of users. The voluntary safety regime that Frontier Labs built over the past few years, according to this index, is eroding rather than tightening. And it is being called out publicly by one of the higher-profile groups tracking these commitments.
Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.